Hi, my name is Beer, and let's start with Minecraft Dungeons Ultimate Edition. The base game of Minecraft Dungeons is not discounted, and honestly it never is, just like Factorio, but this deal is still very sweet. For the price of the base game, here you will get the base game and all the DLCs as well. There are 8 of them in this pack. So, this is a very nice isometric hack-and-slash game, a spin-off of a very well-known game, Terraria. Well, maybe not, I'm kidding. The plot here revolves around a villain known as Illager, the leader of monster armies. Here you can brave the dungeons alone or team up with friends. Up to 4 players can battle together, all that in an epic quest to save the villagers and take down the evil Illager. You'll explore dungeons, swamps and canyons full of dangers. One thing that distinguishes Minecraft Dungeons from other hack-and-slash games is that your character's power is solely determined by finding better and better equipment, mainly weapons. Also here you can unlock over 250 unique artifacts and other stuff to perform and survive devastating special attacks. And when your wife or husband finds you playing this, say that you are doing research or something, you know, for science. Let's be fair, it's a game for kids, but it has over 90% of positive reviews on Steam, so how can you resist? Immortals of Aveum. This is a single-player, first-person magic shooter that puts you in the role of wizard, as you join an elite order of battle mages to save the world on the edge of the abyss. Well, as always, knowing you, the world is doomed, but you can try to play this game anyway. With legions of soldiers on both sides, you must uncover the mysteries of the world's troubled past and find if there is any hope for saving the future. Here you'll master 3 schools of magic and unleash your mighty spells on everyone who puts pineapple in the potato salad. At least, you should. The combat here is fast, fluid, easy to learn, interesting to master, and you will be constantly rewarded for clever chained attacks and well-timed counters. The game is not flawless, but people are praising the fact that this is a full release, not some puny early access. It rewards you for exploring, has new mechanics, and it is beautiful in general. Just renew your graphics card drivers, or you will dive in the world of pain and suffering. Elden Ring. The game is balanced for those who like Souls-like games, but it is possible to play for people without masochistic tendencies as well. The game is a bit easier than Dark Souls, but just keep in mind that despite that, it is really challenging and you will be dying all the time. Although this time it's an open world and you can go wherever you want. And the game doesn't hold your hand or penis, so you are free to go and explore various places. You may ask, how to know where to go then? Well, you will know, believe me. If you put your nose in the wrong area, you will die a little bit quicker than in other places. Anyway, the world is beautiful, enemies are really original, and you may not have a lot of fun here, but the atmosphere of the game will forever stay with you. Elden Ring is not something you can easily forget about. Detroit: Become Human. Here, decisions will dramatically alter how the game's intense, branching narrative plays out. Your choices really matter, not like in real life. Basically, the whole game is built around your choices. You can't do anything here except to choose what to do in certain situations. Well, also you move around a little and search for clues, but that's kinda it. And every decision you make, no matter how small, affects the outcome of the story. And in this game, no playthrough will be exactly the same. You can replay again and again to discover a totally different conclusion, sometimes absolutely unexpected one. Well, let's be honest, you probably won't do that many times, but it's nice to know that the ending you got is really unique. Also, you can try the free demo version on Steam. Best of Klei. In this bundle you will find 6 games: Don't Starve Together, Oxygen Not Included, Griftlands, Hot Lava and Mark of the Ninja. Also 6 various DLCs for these games. By buying all this as a bunch, besides the summer sale discounts, you will get an additional 55% discount. So basically, by buying the bundle you will get more than half of these games and DLCs for free. This is a nice bundle without any trash, you know, like digital goodies and art books, soundtracks and all the fillers other bundles are proud of. And also 4 out of 6 games have an overwhelmingly positive review score on Steam, so this might be the best rated bundle as well. Despite that, it still may look like a lot of money to pour out at once. But Oxygen Not Included alone is 70 hours of gameplay just to complete main objectives, and we all know that you will use it more like a sandbox, so add a few hundred hours more. Some of the commentators on Steam have several thousand hours accumulated. Yeah, and that is just one game out of 6. Inside and Limbo bundle. What a great deal this is! 2 legendary horror-themed platformers for this price is a must-have. Even if you are not into platformers, these games are like a gateway drug into this beautiful world. If you played Little Nightmares, I would say that Limbo and Inside are members of the same genre, or more likely a subgenre. Creepy but beautiful world, strange creatures and death on every corner. Games are really hard. I can't even remember how many times I died in Limbo, for example, but it didn't bother me when I played. You respawn in a nearby place and can instantly fail again. If you are in doubt, keep in mind that both of these games have a demo version available to try for free, so you won't be risking anything. Although I must warn you, if you don't like puzzles, avoid these games, because you will need to use your brain more than once here, so make sure you have one. Remnant II. This is the sequel to Remnant from the Ashes, best known as Dark Souls with guns. The game pits survivors of humanity against new deadly creatures and godlike bosses across beautiful but menacing worlds. Here you can travel alone or with friends as a team and explore strange new worlds and beyond, overrun by mythical creatures while trying to stay alive. There are multiple worlds to explore with different types of creatures, weapons and items. Game has branching quest lines, augments, crafting and loot rewards that will test the resolve of even the most hardened players in dynamically generated dungeons and areas. Most of the players are saying that the second part is better than the first one, meaning that developers learned from their past mistakes and made an actually awesome game. First-person puzzle bundle. This is definitely one of the best deals for puzzle lovers, for various brainiacs and in general people smarter than me. So for buying these 5 discounted puzzle games together, you will get an additional 25% discount, which basically means that you will get one of these games for free. Or to be honest, almost 2 of the cheapest ones for free, which somehow sounds like an even better deal. The Witness and the Talos Principle will squeeze all the brain power you have. Manifold Garden, with its overwhelmingly positive reviews, will boggle your mind. Superhot will pretend that it's a shooter game, but every encounter is staged, and you will have to find the right way to solve the staying alive puzzle. And about Superliminal, people on Steam say that this is a brain-melting experience. Anyway, all 5 games are great. This bundle doesn't try to hide some shitty games inside. A great deal for every puzzle fan. Firewatch. This is one of the most immersive games I have ever played. Firewatch is a single-player first-person mystery set in a Wyoming wilderness. The year is 1989. You are a man named Henry who has retreated from his messy life to work as a fire lookout in a lush forest. An especially hot and dry summer is a great thing everywhere except where you work. One smoking cigarette butt or one shard of broken glass and this beauty can become a real hell on earth in seconds. This is a game for adults with adult conversation themes. Despite that it is colorful and beautiful and all, it's not made for kids in any way. Dead Space. Of course, I'm speaking about the recent remaster of the game, which is a fantastic game just like the original Dead Space, but I can almost assure you that if you played it a long time ago, you won't spot any difference. I completed the first game more than 10 years ago, and when I watched someone play the remastered version, honestly, I couldn't see anything new. Yeah, the graphics now are shiny and beautiful, but it is exactly how I remember the original version, so the remake is a great game on 2 occasions. First, if you want to replay the game, and not because there is a remaster available, but because of the game itself. And second, if you never played it, in that case I can assure you this is one of the best horror shooter games I ever played. Well, it's more like a thriller with a bunch of jump scares, but the atmosphere is amazing. The surroundings of the space station are made incredibly well and the necromorphs are really creepy. Be sure that your mental balls are strong and hairy. 10 cold beers out of 10. SpellForce 3 Loyalty Pack. This is the best deal to buy SpellForce games. All 3 major releases in one bundle, meaning that if you buy SpellForce 3 Reforced and one standalone expansion, you get another standalone expansion for free. When not on sale, any SpellForce 3 standalone expansion is priced €20, so more than all 3 games combined now. And the title itself is the best thing a Warcraft 3 RTS fan could ever get. It's basically the same, just more oriented to RPG side, because your heroes here are way more important and unique than in Warcraft 3. Also, games are heavily story-oriented, so be prepared for pages and pages of dialogues. They are quite interesting, just be prepared that the game's pace is really slow, like your sister. Northgard. This is an RTS game based on Norse mythology in which you play as a clan of Vikings vying for the control of Mysterio's newfound continent. In this simple strategy game you will find lots of victory conditions, atmospheric music, changing seasons and, as you can see, pretty nice art design. Also, the game has a decent campaign with a pretty good story. Sadly, as I've mentioned many times before, Northgard's AI is cheating with infinite resources and manpower, meaning that developers couldn't create really good intelligence that could win against humans on its own. Well, I know that many strategy games do not have strong AIs, but they at least try. But you never know, maybe developers were AI geniuses, but they were afraid of accidentally making Skynet. You know, being accused of making a bad AI is one thing, but being responsible for a robot uprising that destroyed human civilization? Yeah, you know, better safe than sorry. Nevertheless, Northgard is a good RTS game for a few days, or maybe more. Maybe you will fall in love with it, you know, like tapeworm falls in love with your guts. Terminator Resistance. I remember seeing a trailer of this game a few years ago and I was like,
this probably will be a flop.
And I ignored it on my false prejudice for years. Why false? Well, it has more than 90% of positive reviews on Steam, not too far away from overwhelmingly positive titles, so it's almost a masterpiece. The game is a first-person shooter set during the Future War scenario that was only glimpsed in the first two iconic movies. The machines are destined to lose, but at what cost? So basically here you will run and gun or sneak and hack through Skynet's defenses, level up your skills and explore a post-apocalyptic world for scraps to trade and craft, also interact with other survivors and change their fates. People on Steam are saying that this is the real Terminator 3, as it should have been. It contains an amazing atmosphere, also interesting story and developed characters. Most people are recommending to buy it for the full price without any doubts, but boy oh boy, aren't you lucky today? 60% discount is a treat you may want to feast on, that's for sure. This war of mine. Here you will take care of a group of civilians trying to survive in a besieged city, struggling with lack of food, medicine and constant danger from snipers and hostile scavengers. The game provides an experience of war seen from an entirely new angle. The pace of the game is imposed by the day and night cycle. During the day, snipers outside stop you from leaving your refuge, so you need to focus on maintaining your hideout, crafting, trading and taking care of your survivors. And at night, take one of your civilians on a mission to scavenge through a set of unique locations for items that will help you stay alive, you know, like medicine or a box of beer. Alien Isolation Collection. Recently I played Amnesia the Bunker, which copied the idea of Alien Isolation Monster, and now I have an urge to play Isolation again, which honestly is way bigger and better game than Amnesia the Bunker. Here you are all alone in a giant space station and a sentient monster is hunting you. You have no guns, you are the prey. Sometimes it can take an hour without an encounter, sometimes you can feel it creeping upon you in the vents, sometimes you just die. And this bundle is an amazing deal. You will get the base game and 7 DLCs. The game is absolutely 11 cold beers out of 10 and worth buying even without a discount. Tunguska, The Visitation. This is an isometric survival game that brings you to the dangerous Tunguska exclusion zone, where you will face deadly traps, infectious mutants, bandits, and well-armed rogue military. Game is inspired by the same story as a Stalker, The Roadside Picnic, written by the Strugatsky brothers. Keep in mind that they wrote the story before any serious nuclear accident ever happened, so it's not actually tied to Chernobyl or any other nuclear disaster, just a post-apocalyptic, gritty and dark Soviet Union filled with unexplainable horrors. Although you can literally describe a casual Soviet Union without any post-apocalypse with the same words. People in the comments are saying that if you like Stalker or Atom RPG games, it's a no-brainer. Also, it has very positive reviews on Steam. Just keep in mind that despite walls of text, looting and side quests, it is an actual twin-stick shooter, and at first may be difficult to control. Although from my own experience, when you get used to it, everything will be fine. Impaler. This is a minimalist retro arena shooter with spikes. You'll summon spikes to slay monsters, build barriers and reach higher ground. The game is challenging, rewards movement, and each run feels different thanks to roguelike elements. Here you'll overcome the increasingly difficult hordes of monsters by upgrading your weapons and abilities. The game has a retro art style and really not bad soundtrack. Also, developers use their own engine, so the game feels really smooth. Basically, if you feel nostalgia for classic Doom or Duke Nukem games, Impaler is a wonderful choice. Also, the price is a joke even without a discount. The game is short, only about 2.5 hours, and can be completed in a single sit-down any evening, which is great. Rage. The first Rage game is very Falloutish and more loved by players than Rage 2. You know, like your siblings are more loved than you in your family. So Rage is an interesting look into life after the end of everything. And that end came along with an asteroid. Not a very ingenious plot, but I guess still better love story than a zombie apocalypse. You know, there are hundreds of more interesting ways to end the world than these cliché scenarios. For example, beer could become sentient and take over the world, or cats suddenly mutate into psychics, and when they are hungry, and that's all the time, they make you dance until you drop dead.
Dance, human, dance for me, meow meow.
I don't know, the possibilities of world ending are actually endless. Why stick to like 7 most boring ones? So here you emerge into this vast wasteland to fight against bandit gangs, mutants, and the Authority, an oppressive government regime that has a special interest in you in particular. Quern, Undying Thoughts. This is a first-person puzzle-adventure game inviting you on a journey to explore the beautiful land and solve many challenges. You'll put your IQ to the test with the increasingly complex puzzles and unravel the mysteries of the island. Remember Myst? So it's quite the same. It is original and solving one or another puzzle is really rewarding, you know, for your ego. People on Steam are saying that Quern is one of the best puzzle games they ever played. It also has more than 90% of positive reviews, and the bad ones are mostly about technical issues. People don't realize that you should check your graphic card drivers all the time. For example, I couldn't even run Elden Ring without updating them. Anyway, this is a great game, really worth your money even when not on a sale. Ghostwire Tokyo. Here the city is overrun by deadly supernatural forces after 99% of the population just vanished, so you will use a powerful arsenal of spectral abilities to fight the paranormal threat and unravel the mystery behind the mass disappearance. It may sound and look a bit like a horror game, but the main emphasis is not on the horror, rather on the fast-paced gameplay where you use your powerful abilities and can fight various ghosts like a true Ghostbuster, or more like a ghost eliminator, because you kill them.
How can you kill somebody who's already dead?
Oh, shut up, it's not a science game. And seriously, the game has a rating that allows 12-year-olds to play, so grow your mental balls and dive in. And now, thank you for watching, and don't forget that in my channel you can find hundreds of videos like that with new ones released almost every day. Have a nice day and I'll see you next time. Bye.